Okay, this is an annotation of at least the second, maybe third paragraph as well. Now you are driving deep into the square states. This is the way I recently heard a comedian describe the column of states that holds down the center of the country: the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, a region that spawns both tornadoes and Republicans. TV news anchors often hail from this part of the world, as do the most innocent female characters in movies and primetime TV dramas. Being blonde, fresh faced, and Midwestern makes their descent into ruthless behavior in places like Los Angeles and New York all the more tragic. Okay, here's what immediately jumps out at me. First of all, the fact that she calls them square states, right? And, she kind of means it literally, right? Like, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, they're almost sort of perfect squares or rectangles, right? But again, I think it suggests a certain boredom. There's no shape to them, right? There's like, I mean, if you think of it metaphorically, they lack a little character, I suppose. And then, she backs that up by saying, "This is the way I heard a comedian describe them," right? So clearly he was making, or she was making fun of the square states. And then the next thing that kind of jumps out at me is the fact that she says they spawn tornadoes and Republicans, right? Now, the test isn't going to get very political, but that seems a little political to me. Tornadoes are bad, and she couples that with Republicans. Although it is factually true, those are very Republican states. Usually represented by senators and governors who are Republicans. Also, the word spawn might be something because that's a strange word, and anytime you get a word that's used in a strange way, you've got some diction. And then the next paragraph talks about how a lot of characters on TV are portrayed as being from this area because they're seen as very innocent, right? She calls them blonde and fresh faced. And then on the TV shows, they've traveled like to Los Angeles or to New York, and something bad happens to them or they change in some way. And so LA and New York are seen as like being these places that are bad for Midwesterners. The other thing that I would point out in the second and the third paragraph is that she has defined the Midwest, right? I wouldn't, I don't think you would either. I wouldn't normally define the Midwest as the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma. When I think of the Midwest, I think of Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa. So she's pushed the Midwest a little bit west.